You're listening to CrimeBot Chronicles, where the facts are chilling and the questions never end. If you're drawn to unsolved mysteries, dark history, and hidden truths, hit that subscribe button now, because what you're about to hear will make you question everything. Every year, dozens of people vanish in Lake County, Illinois. As of 2024, over 79 unresolved disappearances remain on file, some stretching back more than 4 decades. But it's not just the numbers that send a chill down your spine, it's the patterns, the silence, the locations that repeat, and the overwhelming sense that something doesn't want to be found. Lake County is known for its serene forest preserves, tranquil lakes, and quiet neighborhoods. From the outside, it's a Midwestern dream. But locals, especially those who've lived here a long time, will tell you that beneath that calm surface lies something older, something darker. Take the Whispering Pines Preserve near Wakonda. It's a peaceful hiking spot by day. But once the sun sets, the air grows heavy. Locals avoid it. Some hikers report hearing their names called from the woods, sometimes in their own voice. One woman, Vanessa Green, who hiked the trail every week, went missing in 2014. Her dog returned home 3 days later, scratched and terrified, but she was never seen again. Search crews found strange markings carved into the trees, symbols resembling spirals and concentric circles, patterns not used by any known hiker groups or park rangers. Another story comes from the now-defunct Raven Hollow Sanatorium, closed in the 1960s. The building was demolished, but the land remains untouched, overgrown, and avoided. Rumor has it the patients weren't just mentally ill, they were experimented on. Records from the 1950s show unusual treatments, forced isolation, low-frequency sound therapy, and unapproved medication trials. Since then, multiple people have reported seeing shadowy figures on the hill where the sanatorium once stood. In 2007, a paranormal group captured a distorted audio clip in the area that featured a deep, rasping voice whispering the word, "Stay." And stay, something does. In the northern reaches of Lake County, near the Chain O Lakes region, fishermen have often spoken of lights under the water, blue, pulsing, and impossible to follow. Retired park ranger Keith Danson reported seeing them for the first time in 1982. They looked like orbs, he said, moving just beneath the surface. They'd vanish if you tried to get close. It was like something playing with you. He later discovered an old tribal legend about the eyes of the lake spirits, watching intruders and luring the unwelcome into the depths. These stories aren't isolated. They echo through the decades, often with eerie consistency. We uncovered a journal from 1929 belonging to Henry Lowell, a local surveyor. In his entries, he writes about finding a perfectly circular patch of scorched earth deep in the woods, far from any known fire. It was hot, he wrote, but no flame. The ground smoked in the cold air. Something had happened here, something that left the birds silent and the deer watching. His last entry is dated 3 days later. It ends with the line, "It's calling again." Henry was never heard from after that. Perhaps the most unsettling incident tied to Lake County's past comes from the 1944 disappearance of 4 children near the Des Plaines River Trail. Their bicycles were found propped neatly against a tree. Candy wrappers scattered nearby. No signs of struggle. No footprints beyond their own. Newspapers dubbed them the Phantom Four. Their names faded from headlines, but not from memory. In 1988, decades later, a construction team clearing land for a subdivision uncovered a buried tin lunchbox with 4 names scratched on the lid, the same names as the missing children. Forensics could not determine the age of the box. The case was reopened, then quickly sealed. But the legends go deeper than disappearances. There's a tale about a figure known only as the Watcher of Warren Grove. Described as a tall silhouette in an old-fashioned coat and wide-brimmed hat, it said he stands just at the edge of the tree line, watching silently. Numerous sightings have been reported, especially on overcast nights. One man, Alex Carruthers, swore he encountered it while biking home from work. "It wasn't just standing there," he recalled. "It turned its head, followed me. But when I looked again, it was gone." Local teens once tried to film it as part of a ghost hunting prank. The footage they captured was corrupted. Only a single still frame remained, showing a shadowy figure with two glowing eyes and a grin. Who, or what, is responsible for these dark tales? Some suggest Lake County was used during the Cold War for secret government research. Declassified documents confirm that parts of northern Illinois were considered for psychological warfare testing. One memo from 1957 mentions controlled environmental disruption trials. While the specifics remain redacted, researchers we spoke with noted that such operations would explain both the electromagnetic anomalies and mass animal migrations reported in the area during the late 20th century. Others believe the land itself holds ancient power. Before colonization, Lake County was inhabited by multiple Native American tribes, including the Potawatomi. Oral traditions speak of the sleeping earth spirits, entities that lived beneath the waters and were to be respected and feared. They warned against digging too deep, building too fast, or staying too long near the fog-covered ponds. Some tribal elders believe the disruption of this balance is what invited darkness into the area. And then, there's the private collector we met who owns a series of strange artifacts unearthed near Lake County's western border. Among them, a mask carved from black stone with no identifiable cultural origin. A journal written in symbols that resemble no known language. And most disturbingly, a reel of 8mm film showing shadowy forms moving across an open field in rapid, jerky movements, vanishing one by one as the camera trembles. The collector claims the film was found in an abandoned barn sealed shut since 1966. Is Lake County cursed? Haunted? A victim of human manipulation? Or something supernatural? We spoke with Dr. Rebecca Tansey, a folklorist and historian who has studied the region for over 15 years. There's a convergence happening here, she told us. Folklore, history, trauma, and environment. All these elements overlap. But what makes Lake County unique is the consistency. Stories told in 1920 match those from 2020. Same descriptions, same locations, same unexplained vanishings. That suggests a repeating cycle or a persistent presence. Let's not forget the story of Officer Daniel Romero, who in 2016 responded to a disturbance call near the forest preserve. He reported hearing low-frequency vibrations, feeling disoriented, and seeing figures in the fog. Dashcam footage, released briefly before being scrubbed, shows what appears to be static interference, followed by a faint whisper, "Don't come back." Romero took early retirement that year and now refuses interviews. And then there are the survivors. A handful of people who have gone missing in Lake County and returned days or weeks later, unable to explain where they'd been. In one case, 17-year-old Emma Kellerman disappeared for 5 days after a walk in the Lakewood area. When she returned, barefoot and confused, she claimed she had only been gone for a few hours. Her watch showed the correct time, but her phone, missing with her, was found days later in a tree 20 feet off the ground, its battery inexplicably still at 80%. Emma remembered a tunnel of light, a humming sound, shapes she could not describe. Since her return, she's been diagnosed with recurring nightmares and auditory hallucinations. She draws spirals, always spirals. So, what really lurks beneath Lake County? Is it a fractured landscape bearing the scars of forgotten experiments? A haven for a centuries-old predator that knows how to avoid modern detection? Or something far older, something not meant to be named? No one knows. And maybe that's the point. Because the deeper you dig into Lake County's dark corners, the more the truth slips away, like fog at sunrise. But the stories remain. The missing remain. And the sense that something is watching never leaves. This has been another deep dive from CrimeBot Chronicles, your home for chilling investigations and the mysteries mainstream media avoids. If this story made your heart race, your mind wander, or your skin crawl, do us a favor. Like, comment, and subscribe. We've got more to uncover, more secrets to confront, and more darkness waiting in the corners of the world most people ignore. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and remember, the shadows know when you're looking, and sometimes they'll look back.